Ending weaponization of the federal government is a key pillar of President Trump's second term in office. But as the president is making clear as he targets funding and breaks up crime in blue metro areas, the web extends far beyond the federal government. There are networks of left-wing activists exerting pressure at every level of government and from outside of it, especially in the legal world. Joining me now to discuss is Chuck Flint, the president and CEO of the Alliance for IRS Accountability. Chuck, thanks for being here.
Great to be with you.
Great. So before you explain what role, if any, the IRS could play in all this, first lay out for viewers how certain 501c3 groups like Indivisible operate and how they affect the overall political climate in favor of Democrats.
Well, what they do is, for example, they get involved in, let's say, these ICE raids. We've seen this in LA back in June. We've seen it over the weekend in Chicago. We saw it in Portland. They do things such as hand out protective gear to peaceful protesters. They hand out anti-ICE rhetoric, and I'm going to focus on ICE because that's where predominantly a lot of the I'll call it the venom that's coming from these nonprofits is really being directed at. And what it is doing is it's facilitating a lot of lawless type of behavior and inciting political violence and, frankly, domestic terrorism. If you look back to some of the video from June in LA, you saw rioters that were throwing bricks and cinder block type objects off of bridges at police officers down below. You saw others that were throwing bricks at vehicles, law enforcement vehicles that were moving at a high rate of speed. And then obviously over the weekend in Chicago, they had an incident where ICE agents were boxed in by 10 vehicles and rammed, and they had to fire defensive shots in order to protect themselves.
Now, of course, going back to the question about the IRS, what can the IRS under President Trump do about any of this?
Well, what they can do is look at the groups that are involved, and if a nonprofit organization is operating outside of the mission for which it was incorporated, strip them of their tax-exempt status. So I would offer that as one ground. Another ground is that if you're engaged in activity or facilitating activity that's unlawful, you should have your tax-exempt status, stripped. And I'll give you a quick example. The No Kings rally is going to be held again on October 18th. One of the sponsors of that is the American Federation for Government Employees. When you go to the No Kings website, they talk about how Trump is an autocrat, a dictator, etc. They talk about they want to resist ICE and obstruct these type of arrests of illegal aliens in the country. So I don't know where in the American Federation for Government Employees mission statement, which is about helping to secure bargaining rights for federal workers, it talks about any of that. I would also offer this. On the No Kings website, they offer de-escalation training so that these people can allegedly move in what they call a nonviolent and powerful way when they take to the streets, which is absolutely ridiculous because if you plan on being nonviolent, then you shouldn't have to de-escalate anything.
No, that's a great point. Now, also, when it comes to Congress and the DOJ, what role, if any, should they be playing in this as well when it comes to oversight?
They have a role, but I would argue that the IRS is the tip of the spear because they can go ahead and dismantle these networks right away, strip them of their tax-exempt status, break down the organizational web, and that, I think, will have a greater impact immediately, and a more acute, immediate impact on what's going on to try to go ahead and disrupt these networks of nonprofits that are facilitating, as I called it, is political violence and domestic terrorism. And we've been seeing it in the streets the last several months. DOJ, Congress can come in and do a type of post-mortem, I believe, but it takes longer for them to act, whereas the IRS could do this quickly.
Well, Chuck, we thank you for your time. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.